Have you ever heard of a forest that changes its colors when your feelings change? Eli had always thought such stories were just fairy tales until the day he walked into the forest himself. It was a gray afternoon. Eli was walking home after school, his shoulders slumped and a scowl on his face. It had been a rough day, one of those days where nothing goes right. He kicked at a loose stone on the path, his mind replaying every frustrating moment. Then he looked up and noticed something strange. The trees ahead of him. They weren't green. They were a deep, moody blue, as if the entire forest was sad. Eli stopped in his tracks. "I'm sure this forest wasn't like this before," he whispered to the empty path. He'd walked this way 100 times, and it had always been just a normal green forest. But today it was different. It felt heavy. He hesitated for a moment. Then, driven by curiosity, he took one step forward, crossing the invisible line into the woods. And suddenly, everything changed. The ground beneath his feet shifted from brown earth to a soft, glowing purple. Leaves on the branches above him began to shine with a gentle inner light. The air felt lighter, thinner, as if it were humming with secrets. Then he heard a voice. It wasn't loud, and it wasn't scary. It was a calm, rustling voice, like wind through leaves, and it said, "Welcome, we can feel you." Eli's heart skipped a beat. He spun around, searching for the source of the voice. "Who's there?" "He," called Ouchie, his voice trembling just a little. A tree directly in front of him, one with a gnarled, ancient-looking trunk, slowly bent its branches down towards him. Its leaves rustled, and the same calm voice spoke again. "We are the forest that changes its colors. Our colors reflect the feelings of those who enter." Eli stared in disbelief, his mouth agape. He looked from the blue trees to the purple ground and back to the talking tree. "So, you're blue because I'm angry," he stammered. The trees around him shimmered gently in response. "Yes," the voice confirmed. As Eli ventured deeper into the woods, he realized the forest was a living mirror of his own mind. It changed with every thought that flickered through him. When he remembered the argument he'd had earlier, the colors around him grew darker, a stormy, bruised purple. When a memory of his best friend's infectious laugh popped into his head, a patch of trees to his right turned a bright, cheerful light green. When a wave of fear washed over him, fear of being lost, fear of what this place was, a soft, misty gray spread across the leaves, muffling the other colors. And when sheer curiosity took over, a brilliant, sparkling yellow danced through the branches, making the whole forest feel alive with wonder. He was walking through a landscape of his own emotions. Soon, Eli reached the heart of the forest. In the center of a sun-dappled clearing stood a tree unlike any other he had ever seen. It was enormous, its branches reaching high into the sky, towering over all the others. But its appearance was what truly captivated him. Half of the tree, from its roots to the very tips of its leaves, was a pure, brilliant white. The other half had no color at all. It was completely transparent, like glass. This great tree spoke, and its voice was deeper and gentler than the one he'd heard before. "Why do you hide your feelings, Eli?" it asked. Eli jumped back, startled. "How do you know my name?" The great tree's colorless sides seemed to shimmer. "The forest knows everyone who enters, but only a few truly know themselves." Eli felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. He walked forward and sat down at the base of the great tree, and for the first time he spoke honestly, without holding anything back. He told the tree about his anger, describing the frustrating day in detail. He talked about his fear of not being good enough. He admitted his sadness over things he felt he'd lost. He spoke of all the things he usually kept locked away inside, the words he never said out loud. And with every word he spoke, With every feeling he released, the forest began to change. The dark blues and grays softened. The angry purples faded. The colors were no longer clashing or extreme. They began to blend together, creating a balanced, calm, and breathtakingly beautiful palette of soft pastels and gentle hues. The entire forest breathed with him. When Eli finally stood up to leave, the forest whispered one last time, its voice a gentle murmur all around him. Remember this, the world around you may change, but its colors begin with you. He turned and took one step outside the forest's edge. He glanced back, and the trees had returned to their normal, familiar green. But Eli was no longer the same. He felt lighter, clearer. He finally understood. Your feelings are not a weakness to be hidden. They are colors. And when you learn to understand them, to embrace them all, the world around you becomes a much clearer, more beautiful place. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. See you next time.